All right, so Drabby put this story in the outline. Mike Florio causes a stir.
Okay.
Of
Long-time Junks guest.
Yep.
Been on the show a million times.
Had him on the show a billion times. And I guess on his – is this a radio show he does, Drabby, or is this a podcast?
He was interviewing
Peter King.
I think it was.
He does a daily
radio show.
Yeah, okay. Well, you were talking about the Super Bowl,
We've
obviously.
got the audio.
Oh, okay. So this is what he said regarding Patrick MaHomes and the 49er defense when he was talking to Peter King.
You know what? At a certain level, I think that, and I want to be careful here because I'm not suggesting that they try to knock him out of the game. That's not what I'm saying. But at a certain point, you trade the risk of 15 yards if you can send a message. And football is still a physical, violent game. If you can hit him, even if it's close to the sideline, even if he's maybe started into his slide, when the championship is riding on it, I think it's a different analysis. And, yeah, we may give up 15 yards or half the distance to the goal line. I mean, that's the thing, Peter. If somebody had blown up Patrick MaHomes inside the 5, okay, it goes from the 4 to the 2. Right. Big deal. So, again, I'm not saying that should be part of the deliberate effort, but the Super Bowl is riding on it. And if this guy's going to think that he can just run through the defense without any physical consequence, they need to dispel him of that notion the first time he tries.
Why is that controversial?
Do you have Peter King's response?
No, I just have Florio.
Isn't it every defensive coordinator's number one mission to knock out the opposing quarterback and get to the backup? I'm not saying you have to do it by dirty means. I'm not saying you have to, cut corners or, draw a penalty by doing it, but I guarantee you, in every defensive coordinator's speech to their team during the week, they're stressing, let's get after the quarterback. How about we hit the quarterback as much as possible?
Hello.
And,
it was called Bounty Gate.
right. I don't understand why this is controversial
well,
at all.
Say he wants to be careful. He's not saying that they should, intentionally try and hurt him. But you're right. I mean, every defensive coordinator, you want to be physical. Not just with quarterbacks. You want to be physical with running backs and receivers.
You're not trying to intentionally injure Pat Mahomes, but you know what? You'd love to knock him out for a few series if you could.
Why do you think they keep the stat QB hits?
Right.
Also, when he's talking about half the distance to the goal line, he's talking about Mahomes' scramble in the AFC Championship, which was fantastic. But if you watch that, the corner, it was the weakest effort of the tackle.
That was terrible.
Mahomes is at the 5-yard line. You can bring him down there. He maybe tried to punch the ball out, but there's no reason Mahomes should have made it to the end zone there.
Right. You're right. Was that Logan Ryan?
I can't remember who it was.
Who's their best DB?
It was a terrible effort by the defensive back. Like the defensive lineman who Mahomes outran, that made sense. He's a big 300-pound guy.
He's a big fatty. He's not going to catch him.
Once Mahomes gets to the 5-yard line or so, and he's got a corner right there, the corner's got to make an effort at tackling him, at getting physical with him, and you can't be afraid to hit the quarterback. So I side with Florio. The reason why some people get upset is they are trying to take out the dirty hits. And so when he talks about a guy sliding, a guy on the sideline, generally you don't hit the quarterback in those situations. But what he's saying is err on the side of hitting the guy.
Correct.
Right.
I don't think it's a big deal.
If you get an opportunity to hit him, you hit him.
I think Florio's, and I like Mike, he's been very judgmental of people in power in the NFL, especially Goodell.
Right.
And this is a major misstep by Florio, I think, because he's been hard on the concussion thing.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't make any sense. He's basically saying for a 15-yard penalty, doesn't matter. If the guy's already sliding, it's worth it. It's worth it to do. He's saying a cheap shot without saying a cheap shot. And I think that's beneath Florio. I just think that the game has evolved. He's supposed to evolve as a broadcaster as well, not say things like that.
Yeah. He's not necessarily saying hit him in the head, helmet to helmet.
No, of course not. But he's saying penalize. You commit a penalty.
He's saying it's worth it. It's probably worth it once. It's not worth it the entire game. You don't want to give 15 yards, 6 or 7 times.
I don't think we're talking about Mahomes scrambling up the middle here in a fair hit on the guy. Of course, go for it.
Yeah.
We're talking about a legal hit on the quarterback to knock him out of the game.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Has the line moved at all in the game?
Not really.
I think the over has gone up.
The over has gone up.
Yeah.
It's
like a 54.
All the public money's going on the over.
Yeah, see, all the public's like
bunch
your boy,
of Cakeses.
bunch of flakes out there want to put their money on the over.
But see, that's what the public does. They bet overs and
yeah, the public
favorites.
is stupid for the most part. Like me.
By the way, if you're looking at some Mahomes props, this is off of my side, Bet Us, but over 23.5 completions. So 23.5 is the total on completions. Passing yards for Mahomes is 305.5. total touchdowns. All right, so now not just passing touchdowns. If your rushes for one,
Right.
2.5, even money on that. If you go under, it's
I feel like I'm going to take the over on every one of MaHomes.
Yeah, there you go, JP. Get in there.
Those are the only ones that are posted now, and I'll get to Jimmy G's. Obviously, they're a little bit smaller.
I would guess they're much lower.
Yeah, they're a little bit smaller. But, we'll go over the props a lot next week, but I will be heavy into props.
You'll probably place 100 prop bets.
Oh, not 100, but it'll
50.
They'll probably be 15. They'll be 15 to 20. I like the props. I get into the props.
Yeah.
Kick's
They're
not going
fun.
to make some wagers for you at the sports book.
The sports books in Vegas, when they post the props,
Right.
they posted the props, I think they posted them yesterday.
Okay.
They get so much traffic. They open it up at like 2 o'clock.
Right.
And at 2 o'clock, when they start posting them, there's so many donks
Right.
that are firing at the props.
The ants just start marching in.
They love it.
Firing in their bet.